Okay, the end solo. I would imagine they were in a state of euphoria at doing this. I don't know if they recorded it in bits. You know, obviously they had the backing track so that Elliot Randall could hear the lyrics and then relate to them. I would imagine much like, now I'm purely speculating here, so feel free to say I don't agree or hey, you're flat out wrong. But in the same way that Larry Carlton's end solo in Kid Charlemagne has a sort of elan, it's got a sense of like, you know, just absolute euphoria about it, as if somewhere in his mind he's thinking, I've just made history, I've just played a solo that people are going to talk about in 50 years. Now, you know, he could maybe say, actually you're wrong, I recorded the end solo first, which would, you know, destroy that theory. But that's how it sounds to me, and the end solo by Elliot Randall, really in the ear, sounds like that to me too. So, at the end he goes. A little slide in, and it doesn't come off the E, it comes off the F. Like that, so you get that kind of, I don't know, pseudo jazz, rather than, you know, that wouldn't be nearly as, you know, that's a bit more jazzy, right? So play that 4 times. And then we play a B, but you're going to have to play it there, because we're going to go into that line. So right, so you see, the first time I fretted it there, but then I jump. Right? So you play that B, C, B, A. Right? So just get that, you know, smooth and as rhythmic as you can. So yeah. And then I still, to this day, 50 years later, I think that's a really unusual choice of notes. So we've got the trill, and then we play F sharp, G, D, and then when we go down, we just play D, C. So after that, we move into a more kind of rock and roll bit where it goes. Right? So that's D and C sharp. And again, that's very rhythmic. I mean, the notes are just, but he's going. Right? So that's the Chuck Berry lick that you all know. You bend the D, and then he doubles it up. So it goes. So if you slow that down, you'd hear. Jump. Right? And we're almost at the end of the solo, and it's starting to fade out. So this is where it gets a little bit hard to hear. And there's one final lick that, you know, I have it in my head what I think it is, but you know, it may not be that. So we've got. And then he plays a lot of this out. It's quite hard to hear. Right? And then as the record is fading, and I don't know if you were a teenager who on a fade, you'd turn up your record player and turn it up and turn it up to hear the last lick. Andy Powell solo in Everybody Needs a Friend I used to do that with. And then you try and turn it down, you know, so you didn't, like, you know, annoy the neighbours or blow up your house or something. But right after that, Elliot Randall plays a, and it's a really kind of funky in the pocket lick. He's coming off an A note and bending the B half a step, sort of. And then that's the lick that I think he plays right at the end, but it's quite hard to hear because the record's fading out. So that's the whole thing. So, play it really slowly. That's a bit, it's quite hard to hear, it's kind of buried in the mix. And then the record's over. So that's the tail end solo, as close as I can hear it in real in the ears.